Hi class, we just got done making our maze and we are able to play our game while we have our maze in the background. And now we're going to give the maze more script so that we're able to use these block definitions and make it so that the mouse can run, Mimi can run around chasing the cheese and the ghost can pop up. And we're also going to add a few more enemies as well. So we should be on page 50, step 24. And it says, Mimi the ghost and the cheese are all too big for this maze, so we need to shrink them. Add the following blocks to the beginning of Mimi's script before the forever block and fill in the numbers below. So I'm going to find Mimi. Before the forever block, I need to find the looks block that says set size to 35%. And now this will take an effect once I click on the green arrow. And I also have to make, let's see here, go to X, goes right underneath it, and point in direction. 90. Make sure that you and your partner are talking about what the numbers need to be. So now I'm going to try Mimi. I'm going to turn my sound down just a little bit. Look how small Mimi is now. And he's still running on the lines, which is okay. But we are going to now be able to give him extra script so that all of the other sprites will have the same type of idea with them, and they're not going to be able to be in the lines as well. Okay. We added the purple size block. Let's see here. So she's half the size of the cheese, obviously. We will need to fine-tune our maze costume. I can already see a couple areas where I need to fill in a line. Like right here. This can be troublesome because if Mimi hits them, she could get stuck around the corner and just not good. So I'm going to fine-tune my maze just for a little bit so that Mimi and other passengers or other characters, I guess, can pass through the maze because we will be adding some other enemies in there as well. So I'm going to use my eraser tool and I'm going to be careful that I keep all of my blocks here, but I also need to make sure that they are all connected as well. And I'm just going to use my brush and fill those kind of in. This one needed it. Okay, I think that was really all I needed for the maze. Let's see here. Now I'm going to add a backdrop color. So it's just not plain white and it adds a little more pizzazz to it. So I'm on my maze. I need to go to the, let's see here, costume. I'm sorry, actually. We need to go to backdrop and we need to click on the paint backdrop. We're not going to make like a beach theme or underwater theme. We're just going to add a plain color. So we need our paintbrush, our paint can. And just find a color that would contrast well with blue. Obviously, you don't want to do dark blue because you can't see the lines very well. So if you already have a darker color, look towards the lighter colors over here in our area and see. So like a light blue would look nice. We could do a light pink. We could do a light red. You could do a light gray. Anything just so that it's not plain white. So go ahead and find the color that you would like to use. Make sure that they don't contrast too much. You're able to see all of the things that you have. And remember, you don't want to choose a color that you already have as, like you don't want to choose yellow because you won't be able to see the cheese. I think I'm just going to do light blue. And keep it like that. Okay, I'm going to rearrange my score up here so that that's still able to be seen. There we go. Okay. Now we need a mouse trap. Mimi can currently run through the walls and So can the ghost, but we need to keep her trapped inside with the other sprites. Okay, so in order to do this, we need to change her script a little bit. So let me click on her real quick. Oops, scripts. Where we have these 4 different sets of instructions here. We need to insert the 4 times into Mimi's main script. So we're inserting a block that makes Mimi move 5 steps backwards, so a -5, and that she is, when she's touching the maze, she has to go backwards. So that will keep her away from the lines outside and inside. And this is going to go right underneath each time you see move 5 steps. So I'm going to make the script over here, and then I'm going to duplicate it so I can add it in 4 times. So, oops, I don't need that, I'm sorry. We need the if then. You need the light blue touching, and we need to click on maze. Move motion steps. And this is going to be a -5. And then I'm going to make this 4 times. So if I click up here, you can duplicate it. You can hold down one finger and click, or you can use the commands up here. I'm going to use the commands up there. And duplicate 4 times. We have to duplicate it 4 times because there are 4 controls for the up, down, left, and right arrow. So go ahead and tuck that in under move 5 steps. So now your script may be very, very long. That's okay. It might go down. You'll just see that you have a drop down arrow now. So I'm going to start it again, and this time I shouldn't be able to run through the wall, so we'll check. See, and I stop every time I try and go through, so I have to go around. And we are all set. I'll let the ghost touch me so it stops. And we are all set, like I just said. One thing that the book suggests, and I didn't have any trouble with it, but you might, depending on how difficult you made your maze, and that is Mimi's tail. She's a lot smaller right now, so it's harder to tell, but her tail is very, very long. If we wanted to, we can find her in the costume section once we find her in sprites. Click on costumes. If you click on the paintbrush, you find her here. Oops, why can't I find her now? There we go. I can take my, where is it at? Oh, I have to convert to bit mode. That's why I could not find it first. And if I take my eraser, I can scale down her tail just so it's not so long and it doesn't get caught while she's running. This still is within her body. It's not past her feet like it was earlier. So I just trimmed it down a little bit. You can keep it the same. You don't have to. It does not matter. But if you would like to, you can trim her tail up just a little bit. And that just helps her go around the corners and things like that. We have her centered as far as I'm concerned. Yep, she's all set there. Okay, so now we are ready for the beetles. Now Mimi's main enemy, a small army of evil beetles that scurry around inside the maze. If she bumps into one, the game ends. So to make the beetles move automatically, you need to make a sequence of steps for them to follow. Programmers call this an algorithm. Our algorithm will teach each beetle to move forward until it hits a wall. Then it will stop, turn, and move forward again. Click on the new sprite symbol and choose the beetle sprite from the library. So, new sprite, animal, beetle is right here. Click OK. And I now have my beetle. I am going to make the script first, and then I'm going to duplicate it so that the script is already there for it. So we are on, let's see here, step 37. Add the following script to set the beetle's size, location, and direction. It uses a forever loop to move the beetle and an if-then block to make it stop, and turn right whenever it hits a wall. Once we have this done, we'll need to run it, make sure that there are no glitches, and then we will see how much time we have from there. So, I'm going to go ahead and do this on your own as well. Remember, be working with your partner, making sure that you have the correct blocks in order and where they need to be. And then if you need to go back and add the numbers that you might need to in those bubble areas, we should be all set. So we're going to set him to 30, negative 130, 80, 90 was already there, move 5 steps, move negative 5, oops, 90, and then if then I need to have it so that it's touching the maze. Okay, so now when I run this, I should have the beetle starting in a specific spot, and whenever he touches the maze, he will have the same as Mimi. He's not going to be hurt. So notice how quickly he moves, but each time he runs into a wall, he just turns around. So this is how Mimi is able to get around getting the cheese, but you still have to make sure that the cheese does not, or that she's able to touch the cheese. Now, I did want to show you when this does run, if she would try and touch the beetle, nothing's going to happen because we have not set that script yet. So she can run through the beetle, but we will be setting that here probably in the next video. Okay, so we should be done with our first beetle. We'll be starting on step 38 when we get done.